Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Look at this. Let's do a little update. Time to do an update. Let's take this off. Here we have it. Went with Endura stainless steel drive shaft. And I went with the Endura brass linkages. Now these I don't think is Endura, but they're brass skid plates. Excuse me, some people will go totally against the brass because it will gouge maybe before it peels, where aluminum will peel and slide because it's softer. And that is really a legit thing and legit rock crawling. But I just like to look at the brass. And so we'll leave that at that. But I definitely do understand the aluminum. You don't get the weight with aluminum, but it definitely is a softer metal, and it would give before the brass. The brass it tends to maybe gouge and just kind of stay and hang. But maybe if your brass is cheap enough, and I just don't know. But anyways, I also went with the black and the brass covers back. And excuse me, here on the front. I don't know how well you can see it back there somewhere, but this cover here, it's covered right here. And I went with a brass linkage, the black and brass linkage from Endura. And I went with the Endura big bore shocks. And I went with the black brass knuckles. I did stay with the original, these brass knuckles there. I don't know how well my light is. I apologize. But I did keep the plastic here, but it does have steel gearing and it does have steel axles. So I'm not too worried about that. And while we're on that subject, I did order Endura 112 underdrive gears that I'll be replacing here. The worm gear and the gear, and that will upgrade that, make it a little better metal. But I'm just going to leave this. This is some pretty durable stuff. We'll just see what happens. The only thing I could do, maybe it would help if I would take and grind out. They a lot of times do this grinding down in here. It lets the tire, lets the tire turn a little easier, a little farther. But that's something, I have in maybe in the future. And I went with I replaced the original motor and transmission. The original motor and transmission I replaced with this Endura transmission and the 50T brushed motor. The T, I guess, is for turns. The wiring. The tires, this is the other set of tires. I have some all-terrain Endura tires and rim. And these are Endura rims, but I switched them out, and the other tires I had on here was the all-terrain, and these are rock crawler tire, but they're not Endura. But I had taken and I have moved the rear shocks to put them at a little angle and trying to lower it instead of these setting down here. See, they should be setting more like about down here. I have them setting up here and it's dropped them down, but I've only got one of the screws in. Fortunately, it does set in there. It seems to be pretty solid. We'll see. I'll take and maybe well, it almost lines up with a hole, but it doesn't. And maybe I can take and I can maybe make that make the hole where this and right in here would go in, maybe more of a slot. And it wouldn't take much, I don't believe. And but right now it's been working because it has to set down in this track. This bracket that's back here has to set in this track, and so much of this other stuff just sets on one of these two, you know. And the front end, I instead of it down here, I raised it up to underneath where the hood actually shuts down. And anyhow, but I did have to move the battery forward. I had to cut this out and do a little trimming here and there to take off the an end off here where it would slide a little farther. It's been working. I've been putting Velcro around this, and it's been working for me, but it's not perfect yet. I want to do a little bit more perfect that a little better, let's say. But yeah, I'm really anxious on getting these underdrive gears to slow it down. I'm thinking that might make it, excuse me, not quite as jerky and slow it down a little bit. It just goes too fast. And I still have this, this is all still stock here. So this you could get a little bit better receiver too for this that helps with some of that. And it did help when I put this 50T motor. It so far it hasn't powered out on me or anything like that, you know, just not a dead key, I guess you'd call it. So yeah, it's coming right along. Still working on the course, and I'm going to do a video on the course here real soon. But I just need to get it down low. It was setting up so high that it was top heavy. I'd taken all the accessory type stuff off of this, and I don't know if that's what I want it. I like it. And done some reinforcing. These are the first thing that go on these. They crack, you flip them open. I've super glued it. I get out of my own light here, but I've super glued it back in here. Isn't that pretty? Now that right there, buddy, that's minimum wage job right there. Okay. Anyways, yeah, that's what I've done here. Now, you notice I cut the fenders out. Cut the fenders out on it. It needs cleaned up. Need to take a Dremel or something and kind of clean it up. But man, I tell you what, that stuff cuts so easy. And once you start cutting, if you mess up, you just love cut the whole daggone car in half. But they did come out really clean, I thought, for my kind of work. And yeah. So I'm waiting now for this underdrive to come in so I can try this out. and I'm really thinking about going up to the brushless. But I've seen on Amazon that some of these have a high, this Endura, they have a Viper or I don't know, something in a Mini, and it says they have a high return rate. I just don't know if it's because it doesn't fit and they don't realize that, and they don't want to do any kind of modifications, and those do not fit with the original type transmission. You have to get a different transmission. And with this one, I think this one still would have went with the original transmission, but this one just a little bit better upgrade in quality than Dura, so I went and ahead and got that. And I'll do the same thing with the Viper, whatever that Mini I go with. I don't know. This thing is all pretty much Endura, and I've had real good luck with it. Everything seems to work good, so and looks nice, and seems of good quality. And but I'm open to doing about anything. But I think with this one, I'm going to try to stay pretty much have it powered and things by Endura. But and maybe the next one I'll do a whole different type of brand, and just see how it goes. But right now, this Endura has really been some nice stuff. I mean, it's working for me. Well, I'll tell you what, thank you very much for your time. It's been real, it's been fun. I don't know, it's probably all been dark and out of focus and things, but you can see here, I'll just give you the list here. This is a thing that this is a list of things here that I've done, bought and put on this. And I see a couple of those things I do have. I said it's Endura, but it wasn't. But the other side, but it was another pair of rims I have that wasn't Endura, and I have them down here as Endura. But oh well, I'm sure you're pretty smart. You'll figure it out. But yeah, this has really been a lot of fun. A lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it. And I think I'm going to go brushless. I love that smoothness. I love that slow, smooth, gosh damn, when that does that in just slow motion, it defies gravity, goes against the laws of physics. And you're just like, man, how is that just hanging there? And instead of that wide open, where you'd have to slow it down. That's what you need to do. Go slow. Go as low and slow as you can. And that's the challenge with this cab here, is getting it down. See, I did not purchase this for this part. This part here is not what I purchased it for. I love it. It's nice. Love to have one in real life. I think they're a beautiful machine. I've owned Jeeps, more than one. And but what I got it for was the length of this. What is it, 78? Yeah, 78 millimeter and 70 and 78 millimeter on them. And it's just a longer, and I put the extensions and made it wider. And this is what I really bought it for, is that length. I just think it just makes a nice climber. The name of these tires that's on here, I don't know them. I can't even pronounce the name of it, RCTHJIA, and they're the rock climbers, and they're really nice, and they come off of some other rims, and these are Endura rims that's on this, but the name of whatever these tires are come with rims from them too, and they're nice rims. They wasn't very expensive, but there's aluminum and red, but there's maybe I can find it here. Now this, now these are the Endura tires that I really originally had on the Gladiator, and these are those RCTHJIA, how you pronounce that, rims, but they're nice looking rim, you know, and but I just don't know which one of these tires these rock climbing tires that come on these cheaper rims, or let's don't say cheap, let's say less expensive rims, seem good, but oh, come on up here. But yeah, this is, and I don't have any weights in these. I need to get some weights for these. This is one of those, I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with this product. It's one of those rip-off ones, they say, and it's really not. It's really not bad, but you just can't get anything for it, hardly. And you have to do some of your own modifications, and some things off these other 1/18th and 1/24th, they say, will fit on here. These tires will swap out. Oops. These tires will swap, like I said there, This is the original kind of tire it had on it. This is one just like there was on the other four. But I want to build I'm going to get some brass in this. There's just not much you can do with this. And the spring. I put some oil in the shocks on it, and it has potential, but it's just going to be some real heavy modifications if you really wanted to do this. I broke some wires off. I had to solder them, and then put hot glue back over. I just got my finger and hand in front of it. That's my waterproof glue job, but soldered those back in. And when I did, I see they come out and was broke. I didn't know what went where, and I've got one of them in the wrong place. I've got, well, I guess actually two in the wrong place. I've got one blinker works, and then it flashes another one of the headlights or something. But so now I'm going to take that back off again and redo it. But I had no idea, so now I know to turn them around. And I put them on there, and before I soldered them, and thought I had them in the right place. But we make mistakes, right? And but this is just I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And they say that the servos and things will work. That works on these others, these axles, and things. I just don't know. But the front end is real nice and tight on these. These others, this axle, its front end was just like an old 8-in Ford wore out. You ever drove one of those, an 8-in Ford tractor? Yeah, with a front end wore out. I have. But anyhow, and you had to put all sorts of bushings and stuff. But I did this one too. I went through this and put some stuff in it in places, but places I didn't have to. I've done stuff. Like I say, I put oil in the shocks. It come with 2 other sets of springs. and I don't know where they're at. They come with different size springs, and I've misplaced them. I'm afraid I might have thrown them away with some packaging. I can't find them, and I wish I had them, because that's the problem. It helped a lot to get some oil in there, but it was real bouncy. Not near as bouncy now, but I've got some weight on it. I put some, I don't know if you see down in here or not, but I had to get a glimpse of that fishing weight. They're in the back. And I put one in a similar place underneath this, lower, underneath here on the front. It needs weight. It just needs weight in the tires right now is what it really needs. It has a 2-speed motor in it, and high and a low. And with this weight on there, that low side just don't have the torque to be efficient. Really, you had to put on the high side, so it's got that jerky, that jerky, and of course it's this is all plastic. I haven't replaced any of this plastic. I don't know what fits. If anybody could tell me what you could replace some of this with. Now, I've seen some of the, some of them say you can get parts for them, but I don't know. Like I said, I have really a mixed feeling about this thing, because it's nice in so many ways. It's just, it just kind of lets you down, because it's so close. And there's just not much you can do for it that's nice and clean, like you can get the parts for these others, You kind of have to modify. But it goes, especially after I put these larger tires on here. It goes, and it isn't as bouncy. It isn't quite as rocky back and forth since I put some silicone oil in them. So, but there you have it. Next week, I'm going to get the reduction drives, front and back. Now, some people in that reduction drive, they'll get one size in the front, one size in the rear. They'll go up in the front, down in the rear, or they'll reduce them some in the rear, a lot in the rear, and a little in the front. I don't know, and I've seen some of them pull. They say that helps with your steering, that it'll help pull that steering on around, because that front end's turning a little faster. But I don't know if that's I don't know. That goes against all the rules of any four-wheel drive, real four-wheel drive I've ever had. You want to keep that gearing the same. But so I went with the same front and back. We'll see, and we'll do something with it. And I don't think that'll do it. I hope it gears it down enough. I mean, these little electric motors, like I say, have all sorts of torque. It's got a lot of torque, but it just wants to go a little too fast, and it just needs to slow down. Well, thank you very much for your time. I can't believe it's a 25-minute video. Probably nobody and their dog will watch it, but let's hang out with me, and we'll try to get that other motor. We'll try to get the brushless motor in there, and I'll get that gearing, the underdrives in the front and rear, and we'll see where we go from there. Like I said, I got the fenders off. I don't think they come off too bad. It's not, I don't think that's too bad. Because like I say, I'm not, it took a little time for me to decide to cut those off, because it's like, oh, keep it all sweet, and I think this might be sweet doing it this way. You know? Because I like it like that. It's been real, been fun. Stop by sometime.